As a child, I was obsessed with discovering life's meaning, and I came across a Buddhist quote: "Life is the school of love." It felt right to me. It stuck, and it cured me of my obsession. I spent the entirety of my life living by and quoting that Buddhist saying, except I found out about a minute ago while verifying before making this video that it's not a Buddhist quote at all. In fact, I can't even find its source. And the fact that I dedicated my life to a quote because I believed one of the world's most ascetic and spiritual religious teachers had said it, only to find out decades later that it was just a random quote, or maybe I'd unknowingly mixed some together and made it up, is perhaps the greatest analogy of life yet. I could pretty much just end the video right here. But I won't. Ironically, and in some ways really tragically, my life has proved to be the school of love, just not in the way that I had imagined. Almost everyone I've chosen to love has been a lesson in loss and grief and how to start over, a lesson in beginning to hope and dream again, but in a new way, in a way that has brought me a lot of inner peace and contentment in life. Dreaming, hope, and faith are what sets us humans apart from other animals. A specific development in the cerebral cortex gave us the ability to create complex scenarios and have mental foresight. In the book, The Gap, The Science of What Separates Us from Other Animals, Thomas Suddendorf talks about nested scenario building, which he says is the ability to imagine other people's situations, moral conundrums, or entirely fictional stories. In the context of thinking ahead, it allows us to picture potential future events, reflect on possibilities, and embed them into larger stories of unfolding events. This, in turn, enables us to plan and prepare for opportunities and threats before they materialize. In other words, some of the most significant decisions we make rely on our ability to predict the future, and a large part of that prediction is based not just on what we need, but what we desire and hope for. I think few of us realize that there can be a downside to hope. Hope is the driver of most of our aspirations: writing a New York Times bestseller, traveling the world, finding true love. But these things only exist in the incalculable one day, so we spend a large part of our lives fantasizing about a possible reality that doesn't exist yet and that we have no real guarantee ever will. Hope often arrives with enough excitement and extravaganza to sneak its friends, impatience and disassociation into the party unnoticed, and to put it lightly, they are both party poopers. Hope will throw you a parade when you decide to start your fitness journey, but disassociation will rain on that parade every day by not being present, so you can't even remember enjoying moving your body and savoring the nourishing food you cooked that day. To make it worse, impatience will remind you every time you look in the mirror that it will be years before you're anywhere close to what the media tells you is the ideal body. The solution is simple in theory, which is part of the problem. We often struggle to believe that the answers to our problems can be simple, and we overlook some of the greatest advice because of it. So don't stop watching the moment I say the thing I already know you've heard 100 times before. Decide right now, before I say it, that this will be the time you hear it and it feels right and it sticks. Ready? Practice gratitude and mindfulness. In Buddhism, there is a quote, and this one is real, I double-checked. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. The importance of mindfulness and gratitude is also referenced in the Bible, the Quran, numerous spiritual practices, psychology, neuroscience, and more. It is possible that billions of people are wrong, but I think it's more likely that we are overlooking an achievable and attainable solution to much of our inner turmoil. We need to find a healthy balance between dreaming and working towards our futures and experiencing and appreciating everything the present has to give us. By focusing on the now, we become better equipped to stick out the actions that will help us achieve our long-term goals. Taking life day by day also means accepting the reality that while we may have the incredible and unique gift of predicting the future, our crystal balls only show us various possibilities, and in reality, we have very limited control over the future. We should be grateful for the small victories and gifts that are within our grasp right now. Think of gratitude and mindfulness as the bouncers at the entrance of your party. They may not notice impatience and disassociation sneak in right away, but once they're aware that they're there, they have the power to make sure that they're behaving and kick them out if they're not. Begin your day with hope, but then slot in prompts throughout your day to help you stay present. Try to guess all the ingredients of the dish you order at a restaurant. Think of and maybe even point out something that you admire about a colleague who gets on your nerves quite often. Focus on where you feel it most in your body when you exercise. Whenever you find yourself with a moment alone, take note of what you can see, smell, hear, taste, and feel. At the end of your day, if you can account for just one accomplishment and just one thing for which you're grateful, no matter how small, that is already a victory. But don't just think about it, write it down every day. Allow your list to grow as your skill of noticing the good in your life improves, which it will. If there's a voice in your head right now telling you that you don't have enough good things in your life to take note of, then just consider this a frequency illusion experiment. You don't even have to believe it will work, it's just an experiment. Frequency illusion, also known as the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon or frequency bias, occurs when increased awareness of something creates the illusion that it is appearing more often. So don't stress about the outcome, just commit yourself to practicing this one day at a time. My hope for you is that you will begin to find more and more things to account for daily. Lerato le lesedi, and keep growing.